Hey everyone, it's Apache here and welcome back to another episode of Vintage Story here on the Rusty Gears SMP server. Thank you very much for joining me today and continuing to show your support for the series. If you do enjoy this episode, please leave a like and a comment, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. So it's been a while since the last episode, but I have managed to make some progress on our house here at spawn. We have now this building here. It's a lot lower than I first thought it might be. We've just got it on the 2 stories or 1.5 stories. So we've got the ground floor here, and then the first floor up here, like this. So it's going to be a very, very short story, this, but I think it's going to be okay. We will actually end up extending out the back here and having another kind of building at the back. And maybe a windmill tower as well. We'll see how we get on. But I'm quite liking the size of this and the shape of it. I much prefer it to how it was before. I think the way that I had built it up, it was kind of extending all the way up there, about to there on the horizon where my where the crosshair is now. So it was far, far too big for this area. And this kind of makes it just fit into the place a lot better. But you can see we've got my kind of standardized, well not standard, non-standard roof design, which I like to do here, the kind of curved roof. I've actually gone with a bald cypress for the wood here, which Andy Days very graciously gave me some of his saplings so that I could create a farm with them. And we've got these little outcroppings on the edges of the logs here. They look a little bit like eyes at the moment, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them in this design, but we shall see. And they're going all the way across on each of those. Now today is going to be a very, very special episode because I went on a little trip out with Sid the other day, and we got a chance to catch up with each other and ask each other some questions. So I think I'm going to roll that footage now, and when we get back we will see what else we can do with this building.
Okay, so yeah, here at the ruin. This is I'm taking this ruin. It's a fairly common one.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it in like at a far off distance. I've never actually ventured into one.
All right, there's not a huge amount of threat in terms of mobs. There's a saw blade usually, but there's an absolute metric crap ton of meteoric iron in this place.
Oh, nice. I warn you now, I am terrible at combat in this game, so if I die a few times, then you will have to excuse me.
We've got the beacon set up, so
yes.
Yeah, and I set it to maximum range under the 28 blocks. So yeah, so Apache, introduce yourself to my audience. Obviously, tell us what you're comfortable sharing about yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Apache. I'm in the UK, obviously, by my accent. I don't live that far from Sid, actually. We're in the same area of the country. Probably about 40 miles away from each other, I reckon, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been doing YouTube for far too long now, about 6 or 7 years, and I make a lot of mods for this game, so I am kind of constantly either in modding mode or in playing mode, and so now I've just finished a load of modding, so now I'm just getting back into playing mode as well. So yeah, I haven't been able to do too much on my series this time, but yeah, this will be a good introduction back into the game.
And I'm right in saying you've just finished doing campaign cartographer?
Yeah, I've just released a massive update to campaign cartographer. I'm essentially getting it ready for the 1.20 release, but I'd added so much, but I wanted to get it out for 1.19 as well. So anybody that's listening that misses that mod, I know there's a lot of people that do, it is now back out and available for use.
And I think it's got to be fair to say that most of your mods, most people won't be aware they're using them because they're fairly innocuous. So things like Napster is one of yours, isn't it?
It is.
One bed sleeping.
Yeah. And this respawn tools for mod we're using.
Yeah. So the Napster, it just everybody uses it, and nobody I think realizes they're using it because it's just such a quality of life mod.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're down here to tackle this ruin. I've obviously done this several times. Apache's seen it from the distance, and we're going to bounce questions backwards and forwards. So that was mine. I'll let Apache go, and we'll go and see whether we can find this saw blade, shall we? And
Yeah, okay. So my first question for you is, how's your day been today? What is the average day in the life of a Sid?
today's been pretty good actually, because I managed to finish the Iron Man series on 8-digit server. I've got a couple of episodes done now. The saw blade is normally up there somewhere, so we'll just check where he is. Yeah, it's a Saturday, so not at work, which is always nice to not be at work. Where is the saw blade? I don't like it when the saw blades that you know are there.
Is it usually up the top somewhere?
It's up the top on that bridge normally.
Okay.
But we'll if we find it, we find it.
If I scream, you know it's near.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a pretty standard Saturday for me. I did a little bit of DIY around the house. We've just recently had our kitchen redone. So, well, I say recently, we've been having our kitchen redone now since August, and it's almost to the point where it's finished now. So that I can see him. He's there. Can you see him up there, up on the thing? The tail's just poking out.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, just.
Yeah, he'll be down in a minute. So yeah, pretty standard day. Mainly today was sealing emulsion onto the woodwork with some varnish.
Oh, nice.
But we've got the living room being decorated next week. I'm going to see if I can't pop him from here. No. These are expensive hours, so I don't want to waste any more like that. Not coming. He's not coming down. Where is he?
The last time we had our kitchen redecorated, I actually designed it. We went around a load of the kitchen stores to get something designed for us, and nothing really quite fit. So I took what I learned from them and designed one myself.
I'm not going to get half of these hours back, am I? we'll get him down. Yeah, it's been, we had an extension built on and everything, so things. But have a look in this ruin while we're in here. So yeah, but fairly standard Saturday for me. Ooh, Peaceful Village. Yet another copy. Some peat. I can't look at peat without thinking of that sketch from Red Dwarf.
Would you like some seed, Pete?
Yes, is that you, Pete? It's an absolute classic. Shame it was the later series of Red Dwarf, because they were a bit dodgy. There's a cat scratching at my door, not coming in. I've already got one in with me. So yeah, right. I suppose the next question from me then is, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
There is a story behind this. But if you want the full story, it starts off a bit somber. In 2015, 2016, I lost about 5 members of my family within 18 months. And so I was like just wrapped in bereavement for a very, very long time. And I needed something to take my mind off it all and just kind of give me something to do, basically. And so I was watching a load of YouTube around that time, just as something to watch. And I thought, I could do this. I could get into this. I quite enjoy watching this, and it would give me, some inspiration, something to do. It would give me people to talk to and an audience. And I'd done radio work before. So I had a knowledge about how to speak to audiences, but other than that, I didn't really have much. I was watching Slipgator, who was a big inspiration, and the rest of the Hermitcraft team in Minecraft. And my very first video was something talking to Biffa, one of the early hermits, about
I know Biffy,
yeah, about making a machine for killing withers. And that video, I had to record it at 10 frames a second. It's still on my channel somewhere. But I had a terrible laptop, so I needed to record it at 10 frames a second, and then I released it, and then I think it was within about a week, Biffa had actually featured it on his channel, and built the wither killing machine that I'd created. And that was from my very, very first ever video.
Yeah. Biffa, breakfast tea Biffa.
Yes.
Sure, I have 64. Oh, if you've got them, yeah, that'd be great.
There's one just behind you as well.
So that means I've only lost 2, which is good for me. Tell you this, I'm not even bothered. I've got my good armor in there, but I'm not going to bother with it. We won't need it.
Okay.
But yeah. So right, I think it's your turn. And this is the one question I've not got a pre-answer for.
Yes.
Well, other than how was today, because that's
yeah. So yeah, so this question is there's 2 questions, but 2 next questions I'm going to ask. These are questions that I try to ask everybody, but I talk to everybody, but I ask questions to, including like celebrities and question and answer sessions. The first one of these is, what is the one thing in life that you are most passionate about? The thing that you could talk about forever and not get bored. The thing that lights up your eyes when you start talking about it.
See, that's I have many things that I'm passionate about, and I think one of the things I recognised early on in life, I have an obsessive compulsive personality. I'm one of these people that if I get into something, I get into it.
Yeah.
Which means that you have to, half of combating such a personality is that you have to be aware of that you've got it. So knowing that, for example, I know that I could never play MMOs online because I'd just be there till all hours of the morning. So I have to be a bit cautious. But I'm passionate about a lot of things. I mean, I do get passionate about politics and can talk politics with everybody and anybody. Although I tend to try to I utilise shock tactics to try and get people just to question themselves. So I'll come out with what seem to be, I won't say extreme, but certainly hard concepts, and we'll throw them at people. But since COVID, I've got passionately into woodwork. So I do a lot of carpentry. Obviously anything IT, because it's my job. I love IT. I live and breathe IT, so IT and gaming feature heavily in my things. But any one thing, I tend to find that I can flit around, and having lots of things that I'm passionate about means that I very rarely get bored of the things that I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
I think having a single thing, it's very easy to burn out on things, and I see it quite a lot with YouTube, and even with like vintage story and gaming. People will play and they'll almost binge. They'll do the gaming equivalent of binge watching.
Yeah, I know that definitely. That was me with World of Warcraft while I was in university.
Yeah, and you just you push yourself too far. You don't get, and ultimately, that's it. That's I knew that was going to happen.
Is that a pickaxe gone?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I always carry I'm down to 6 now. I always carry my thing is always full of pickaxe of the heads. I never carry them made. I always just carry the heads.
Yeah.
And then because they stack then. Let me just put that olive lean in there as well while I'm at it. Oh, I've just realised this is peridotite ruin. That's nice. Yeah, there's lots of this ruin, by the way, has got an awful lot of meteoric iron in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's lots of things I'm passionate about: gaming, computers. I'm quite passionate about audio-visual technology actually as well, but that's because I do it for a job. So yeah.
Yeah. With the meteorites, by the way, do you not collect them whole?
Nah, I just take them. I've got so much meteoric iron that I've never really given much thought. I just hammer them out. I'm gonna have to break them at some point.
Well, no, because I use them for decoration.
Oh, I use them for almost exclusively for my tools. Very rarely do I use steel. Okay, so where am I? I'm on. How did you come up with your in-game name?
That was from childhood basically. I used to go to Laser Quest, and it was my membership name for Laser Quest. There was a load of us there actually, and my actual name is Pete. I'm not sure if anybody really knows that, but that's fine.
Would you like some seeds?
And when we joined, I was Pete 7. The Pete that I joined with, pretty much at the same time, was Pete 5. A Pete that joined later on was Pete 15. So there were lots of us.
There's a lot of Petes.
Yeah. And so when I actually worked there for a time as well, and our name badges had our member names on them rather than our actual names. So I had Apache written on my shirt, and so everybody just called me that. Even to the point where my mum knows me as Apache, and I'll get people phoning asking for Apache, and it's just a name that I've grown up with for a very, very long time now.
Yeah, the good nicknames when you have them for any length of time. I've had mine since I was a kid, and then mine's a teenage. Sid's a teenage nickname from when I went to school.
So if anybody doesn't know Laser Quest, you might know it by either Laser Tag or Quasar, the other names for it. But one we went to was specifically Laser Quest.
Oh, there we go. Should be. There's more on the other one. There we go. I knew there's normally quite a lot. I think they've changed this model since the last version. This ruin. I'm fairly certain it used to have more meteoric than this. Still, it's nice if you want the obsidian.
Yeah, right, and there's loads of Wallaby in there as well, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there. I'll try more.
Yeah, so the second question I ask everyone that I can do, and this is a really, really important question actually. I think if the audience at home would want to answer any of these questions for themselves, I think this is the one question that I think deserves an answer from everyone. And ask this question as far and wide as you possibly can. Ask everybody you can ask, especially if you can ask celebrities, ask people that you look up to, ask friends and family, ask your bosses, and because it is such an important question, because the answer to this question is almost always the same, and it's really, really helpful. So the question is, how do you handle imposter syndrome when you encounter it, both in yourself and when you see it in others?
So I actually had to go and look up imposter syndrome because I thought I had a guess at what it was, but I wanted to double check. And I'll be honest, I would have said I don't see imposter syndrome in myself, generally speaking. But then when I looked at the actual definition, I do tend towards perfectionism. So, and believe I can always do better. Having said that, I think you can always do better. That is a firm belief for me, that there is always room for improvement. Doesn't necessarily mean you should always strive for improvement. Sometimes things are good enough, but there is always room for improvement. But I do tend toward perfectionism, and anybody who's watched me building in videos will spot that I'm like hypercritical of my builds or whatever. For in others, because I'm a manager at the local university, and I have a smallish team of AV experts. I try to get everybody to understand that sometimes good enough is good enough. You don't have to have perfection. Sometimes just getting something working well enough to get you through the next half hour or whatever is absolutely fine. So whenever I see people being hypercritical of themselves and almost like perfectionists, I will definitely direct them. The other thing I always try to do, certainly for others, is ensure that when praise is due, it's given, and if possible, I always try and get the actual customer, the one who's saying thanks for hard work or whatever, to do the thanking rather than me, because I think it means more when it comes from the customer than it does from the manager who's just passing that on. Yeah, that's probably about it, really. As I say, I tend to be fairly forthright in myself, so what you see is what you get. I don't really try to be. I don't try to be anything I'm not. I know that's obviously very difficult because everybody wears masks all the time. But yep. Okay.
That's
Who
good.
are some of your favourite YouTubers or creators who inspire you?
Ooh, that is a good question. Just before I do that, but just to stick on the imposter syndrome for a moment. The reason why I asked that question, and the reason why I do think it is such an important question, is because it's something which affects so many different people, and in so many different ways. You've spoken about perfectionism and wanting, wanting what you're creating to be the best that you can make it be, and when you don't think it's the best, or when you fall short of that kind of perfectionist part of your persona, then it can bring you down. It can kind of drag you down. And I think understanding that everybody goes through it and everybody experiences it, everyone goes through these same kind of feelings, is part of the way to actually overcome it. And I've asked this question to some quite big name celebrities, and they pretty much all said the same. But we all feel it, and we all feel it in different ways. It affects everybody, so don't ever think that you're alone in it, because you're not alone in it. And just understanding that everyone goes through it, but we're all in the same boat. We all feel these same feelings, I think is one of the biggest parts about learning to overcome it or learning to live with it. So I know I've felt it quite a lot in my life, especially within the YouTube sphere, and yeah, it's something which is important to talk about and important to come to an understanding with, or come to something to live with. That kind of brings me on actually to some of the people that I have kind of grown up with YouTube, and some of the people I look up to. I've spoken about one of them so far. Slipgator was probably my biggest influence in joining YouTube and becoming a YouTuber. I really enjoyed his comedy and his way of making videos, his way of talking to the audience, and his kind of camaraderie on camera with everyone. It was just really bright and vibrant, and even when you're having a down day, then it kind of lifts you up to be able to listen to his stuff. So I think probably Slipgator is my biggest inspiration when it comes to YouTube. The other one I'd probably say is Quill18, who's a kind of variety real-time strategy player, who his streams and his videos again just led me on to actually creating my own stuff and becoming a content creator in my own right.
So I'm just getting you this. There you go. There's a whole meteoric iron block.
Hey, nice.
I think you should have got. Oh no, I picked it up. It's all right. There you go.
Cool. I've got 3 of them now.
Yeah, they've really nerfed this ruin. They really have.
Ooh, I like that green light up at the top there. Might go
Right,
nick
well,
that.
that's kind of where we're heading next. But I'm trying to remember. I think there must be a way up this. There is one of these. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this has definitely changed a bit since I was last here because they've added this, which doesn't seem to go anywhere much. Okay, well that was disappointing.
So my next question for you. My next question for you is, what is your next investment for video production setup, or for your gaming rig?
There's a couple of things. My PC itself could do with a refresh. It's getting to that age where it's about 4 or 5 years old now. I'm just trying to remember how you get up this ruin bit. Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 years old, and whilst it's fine, like I said, like what I just said earlier, you know, I went to upgrade to Windows 11 and it's starting to struggle with bits and pieces. And I'm going to need to upgrade because unfortunately the work security process when I work for two of them. There's 2 of them. Ow. And I'm not wearing my good armour. That was uncalled for. Right, he's dead. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Oh.
Oh, you crashed out.
I just crashed out. I hit you. Coming back
hey,
in,
that one's done. That one's dead. It didn't even hit me, and I killed it. Do these have any loot?
They drop Jonas parts normally, and usually a.
Oh yeah, I got a finely balanced oscillator.
Yes, what did I get? I've got 2 inverted refraction cylinders and a little bit of metal scraps, and so I'll leave those. They came out. I've not seen those in this. This has definitely been updated a wee bit because. But then again, the last time I did these, I'd got a angel bell.
Ah, right, yeah, that would help.
Yeah. So you had considerably less hopping around to do because the interesting stuff is over there. Luckily, I've got a few blocks. Add a few blocks. There we go. Some more blocks.
I'm assuming that there's going to be something in here. I'm just going to break into this rather than go up it.
The stuff is in the next bit up, as I recall. So this is definitely a thing. So yeah, a new PC is on the cards, although the wife hasn't been told yet.
Haha.
And the other thing I'm probably going to need to do is update my XLR to USB adapter because I'm running a Generation 1 Scarlet, which is absolutely fine, but the Gen 1, they're up to Gen 4 now, so got a little bit of a schematic. So that's the two things at the moment. I recently, probably about in the summer, I upgraded my microphone to. I've now got a Shure SM7DB.
Oh, nice.
I was running a Rode Procaster before that, which I've still got as a spare, because obviously you can never have too many microphones, can you? Right, so there's a loot chest up here where I'll definitely have those. And we'll take the rot, because rot's always good.
I'm in.
Books and a prospecting pick mold. I don't think I need a prospecting pick mold.
So I can see
read the book.
A group of 4 levers.
Yeah, they're quite fun. There's a book there if you haven't, if you're collecting the lore.
No, it's supposed to light, but I want.
Oh, I think they're on the outside. Oh, the part, yeah. Everything's collectible. We set it to 100% drop rate.
That's good.
They've also got these corroded iron blocks down here if these are something that you want.
What's up? Let's come down. Have a look. Ooh, okay. This gives me so many different ideas for builds.
We can actually make this corroded iron block using the no, you can't do the corroded iron block. Or can you? Maybe you can now. Difficult to know what you can and can't make.
I've never seen any of this stuff. Wow.
Yeah, that. And then obviously there's a tapestry there. The nice thing with this ruin is there's a whole load of pipage.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of that.
The fun stuff is here on the edge.
I won't push you. Yeah, I'll make a bit of a gap.
Oh, where is it? Me, isn't it? So, what was the first game you ever played?
Whoa, that's quite a difficult question. I have no idea. I've got no idea, to be honest. That's the honest answer. We used to have what was called a BBC micro system or a BBC master system back in the mid 80s when I was like 3 or 4 years old, something like that.
And program on you're making me feel old now.
Yeah, I learned to program on one of those as well. That was my first foray into programming.
I did it
we used to buy
unfortunately.
We used to buy these, used to be able to get these books from Usborne books, and they were about robotics and programming and engineering. And at the back of the books, they had... Oh, I just fell down. I didn't realise you'd gone so far down. Right. Let me just get out. There we go. At the back of the books they had about 50 or 60 pages of lines of code that you could type into your BBC to make the program for the robots, and it would like move a robot arm and stuff like that. And so that's how I got into programming from there. The games on there, my dad was a robotics teacher and an IT teacher, and so he had a load of these BBCs for school, and they all contained different games, and was probably the very first one was an educational game called Dread Dragon's Room, which I don't expect many people to know or remember at all.
I can't. That doesn't ring any bells at all. Mine's probably even older than that one though, but because my first ever video game that I played was Pong.
Oh yeah. On the actual Pong machine.
About 1974.
Wow.
I would have been 5. But yeah, I went to college and we used BBC Micros as our main devices at college. Learned to program using BBC Basic.
After that, it was probably Command and Conquer, Doom 2, Hell on Earth, and Discworld are the ones that stick out from memory.
Just wonder why that was so red.
We have drifters around.
Do we? Oh,
Yeah.
Well, where are they? Hello.
Ah, there we are. And cows. Is that an angry cow?
I don't know. He's probably trying to get away from that snake.
Ah.
Yeah. Right, I think over to you.
Yeah, okay. What are your plans for the rest of the season?
Well, obviously, I don't know whether you've seen my modern build-up at Spawn yet.
No, I haven't.
Spawn.
I need to go on a world tour.
So that's my current passion project, if you like. I need to eat. where's no, that one. There we go. So yeah, I set myself the challenge this season. I've never managed to actively do a modern build in Vintage Story before because it's not a game that lends itself to a modern style.
Mm-hmm.
So my challenge to myself this season has been to basically build modern. Well, when we go back to Spawn, I'll show you. I'll take you up so you can have a look. But it's been compared by some of the gears as an evil villain lair, so I'm going to be leaning heavily into that.
Nice.
But the other thing I also want to do is make a PvP arena and lean into the respawn anchor so we can kill each other with wild abandon.
Yes, that's good. That's exactly why I created that block, is so you could have lethal mini games and PvP.
Other than that, nothing major planned. I'm going to stick with one base at OG Spawn. I'm not intending to go wildly out. I'll probably about halfway through the season build something out towards the south or the north, depending on once we've got the teleporters in. So yeah, right. I've got you. You were expressing an interest in pipage.
I need to get a chest. Hang on.
I'm just going to go and let this cat in because he's scratching at the door. Come on then. He wants access to the buffet bowl, which is not actually very full, but they've got a bowl of dry food on my windowsill. Right, I need to pick up that. I don't think there's a huge amount more in this ruin, to be honest. This is grab my tent. So right, where am I? What's your favourite all-time game?
Favorite all-time game? Ooh. I think I'm gonna have to probably say Command and Conquer Red Alert 2. Just because it was such an instrumental game within our kind of social group at the time. We used to play 8-player LAN games of it. So I used to live in a house where our house was the social hub, and everybody would bring their laptops and even their full gaming rigs round to our house, set them all up, and we'd have maybe 16, 20 people. Yeah, 16, 20 people in the house, all with computers or with laptops or full PCs, and we'd just go for like the entire summer break, because we had some people that were in university, some people that were in college, some people that were actually teachers themselves, and so we had the whole of the summer basically to be able to play. And yeah, we used to do big LAN parties with Diablo 2, Command and Conquer Red Alert 2. They were the main two. We used to make our own maps in Doom 2 Hell on Earth. And World of Warcraft, we had a full 10-party raid team, or just within the same room. But yeah, Command and Conquer is probably the most reminiscent from that time.
What was it? There was a June version of it as well, or a very similar game, wasn't there, based on June, as I recall?
June 2000.
Yeah. Just gonna go grab my beacon, because we don't need to leave that here. And we can, well, I'll take you up and show you the new build while we continue, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we've eliminated that one. Right, so you should have another rune which is set to spawn.
Spawn, yeah.
So same thing. Hold and click.
Okay.
And then we'll follow the path, and we'll head up towards OG spawn. Right, over to you. Your question.
My next question is, what is your favourite building style? And I get hints of the answer to this at the moment, if you're saying your current building style, but I'll leave it over to you.
Just looking, I've got a cat, and he's. What are you doing? Right. So yeah, I've got 3 cats, and then one of them's on the windowsill being an idiot. Look. Stop it. Right. So I normally have a bit of a trite whenever I get asked what's my favourite whatever. I have a bit of a trite answer, which is that I don't actually believe in having favourites, because favourites kind of imply a limited imagination. But if I had to limit myself to a single favourite style, I tend to get drawn towards medieval, European medieval style. That's where I go. Lots of Tudor style and beams and things. That's kind of the style that I naturally fall into if I don't challenge myself to do something different. So last season I challenged myself to do the desert build with the sandstone, and that pushed me outside of that comfort zone a little bit. This season I'm challenging myself to do modern rather than medieval. But if I don't actively push myself, you end up with a castle or something. I thought that was something crawling across there, but it's just a rock. Oh, that's a good point. This is Wolf City, isn't it? We should be ready for those.
I fully agree with the thing that I don't think I have hard and fast favourites of things. But I do for some things. But I have
on the mountainside ahead of us.
Oh wow! Okay. Nice. Yeah, rather than hard and fast favourites, have short lists.
Yeah, it comes down to having a wide variety. I think if I recommend to anything, now the cat wants to go out. If I recommend anything to anybody, it's have lots of just be curious about as much as possible, because curiosity will breed. You'll never be bored. You'll always be something you want to have a bash at, or something you want to try differently. Got you, rabbit. So yeah, this is the medieval build. I'm just starting to put in the paths for the vineyard. I'm putting a vineyard down here.
Nice. You mean the modern build?
Yeah.
You said medieval.
yeah, sorry, modern build, yeah, I'm on the thing. Right, so favourite book, so on the subject of favourites, favourite book or movie?
I think I was gonna kind of answer this both ways, because there are some books that I really enjoy, and there's some movies that I really enjoy. Authors, there's probably 3 authors that really stand out to me. And I'm just going to turn down the
water sound.
Water sounds.
Yeah, water features heavily.
I'll actually do that in settings here. There we go. That's much better.
And I just got rid of the cat.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so the three authors, but I would say Terry Pratchett. I adore Terry Pratchett. I've read
Agreed.
pretty much everything that he's written, and I love the Discworld, the entire world of Discworld. I love Robert Jordan from Wheel of Time,
Yep.
and Tolkien from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I would recommend reading Discworld and Wheel of Time series for everybody. It's such a... The Wheel of Time especially is something which is really, really daunting to get into. It's a 15-book long series. The smallest book is 600 pages long. There's one book where there's a single chapter which is 200 pages long. So it's a big read. It's a major read. It takes a long time to get through the entire series, but you go back to it over and over and over and over again.
At least now Amazon are making it as a series, then we've got a good chance that they might get to the end. You never know.
There's been a small attempt at a mini series of it before, which went terribly wrong, with Billy Zane in it, which was just terrible.
Yeah.
I really like this, by the way. The diving board's incredible.
Yeah, chisel tools just makes everything possible.
Yeah, I love all of this. I've just been looking around, just thinking this looks so good. And movies, let's see, probably the 90s kind of goth cult classics. The Crow, especially. The Crow is one of my favourite films. The Craft is a really good one, and the other one I'd probably say is when anyone asks what my all-time favourite film is, I always say A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger and Mark Haddy. It's just such a fun film, and so easy to watch as well. It's really good, and it's got David Bowie in it, so.
Yeah, I definitely like the Clive Barker stuff from the 80s, the Hellraiser franchise and Nightbreed, stuff like that. They were classic as well. I've got a collection of Funko Pops, and people ask me why I've got the pops I've got, and they're all Funko Pops that have featured in something that's significant in my life throughout the last 50 odd years of my life. So the films that have had meaning in one way or another. So this is the kitchen, and while we're in the kitchen, I'll let you go on to your next question.
I shouldn't stand on all the furniture. I'll walk around.
That's all right. We all do it.
Okay, add one block, item, or ability to Vintage Story. What is it and why?
For me, I think he's missing. And I really like X skills for this, but I think X skills is a bit of an unbalanced implementation. Is as characters we don't develop within the game. You develop your technology base. You have we'll start with flint, and then I'll get copper, and then copper goes to bronze, and with bronze we now have the capability of getting to iron, and iron to steel, and yada yada yada, so on and so forth. But we never get any better at any of this. It's just that our equipment gets better. Yeah. I mean, you've got a few bits with your food. So food, becomes your nutrition improves your character. But I think a skills-based system that actually makes sense within the game. Things. I've got a wine fridge up.
Nice.
And it actually does count as a fridge.
Oh, does it? Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then the walk-in freezer's over here.
And so these are the chiseled doors. You just use the door thing to be able to turn any chisel block into doors.
Yes.
Is that limited to 2x2?
No, I think you can do it. You can do a 1x1. You can do 1x2. It would get a bit awkward at 3x3, but QPs would be the person who could answer that one.
Yeah.
I mean, like these fridges, these are just decorative storage vessels from his mod. The shelves are decorative shelves, so they're actually shelves, but they're made of glass rather than wood. Nice. And even the crates are actually decorative storage vessels at the bottom as well. Well, that's where I put my new onions.
That's really impressive.
Okay. What's something about you that may surprise people?
Was probably something that would surprise my audience and your audience. I'm a singer, songwriter, and guitar player. It's something I've never really done on YouTube, but I have sang on stage. I've sang in a few bands, and yeah, I think that's probably the thing that I enjoy most about kind of other than kind of doing my YouTube stuff. That is my kind of creative outlet. I don't do art, but I do music instead, basically. Music is my art form.
This is the start of my forge.
Oh, nice. So yeah, this is this is more of the Tony Stark meets Hydra kind of part of it.
Yeah, and again, I was struggling to figure out how to make a forge look modern, and the trick was these decorative anvils. So that one's going to go for the Helve Hammer once it's done. But the forge, I could have done like a propane tank and chiseled a gas one, but I still wanted it to be forgy.
No. This looks perfect. This looks good because it's the part about modern houses, especially big mansions like this, is you don't want everything to be like hyper modern. Stuff like this is perfect because it is just that quirky thing that some mega rich person would actually have. You know, it's that difference which brings it into its own. It makes it its own feature. It's good.
I think it's your question.
I quite like this question. Which dystopian nightmare future are you most looking forward to? Oh, have I?
You've skipped your one lesson.
Okay, yeah. What is the? Oh, yeah. Okay. So.
I mean, I like both of them, but you know.
What is the one lesson you would want to teach the world?
I thought long and hard about this one because there's a lot of lessons I'd like to teach the world. But you know, I thought I could go with the comedic. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony, but then I thought, no, that's a little bit true. So, but seriously, I think I'd like to I'd teach the world to stop taking itself so seriously. Now, a lot of people will know my viewpoints, and there's how do I put this? There's a staying thing, never discuss politics or religion, but my religious standpoint is that I'm an agnostic atheist, if that's a religious standpoint, but that's where I am. So I don't believe personally there is an afterlife. I'm quite happy for anybody to believe what they want to believe, but that's me. So as far as I'm concerned, this is your one. This is it. At the end of this, it's over. So you've got one life. Make the most of it and just enjoy it. And don't take yourself so seriously. After all, we're just monkeys. You kind of answered this question with your last one, but I was going to say, do you have any hidden talents or skills?
Yeah, so I sing, play guitar. I have a semi-photographic or eidetic memory. But I haven't practiced for a long time now. But I used to be able to recall like every phone number I'd had, all the different car registrations my dad used to have.
I have a similar thing, but mine's MAC addresses.
I don't think I've ever gone that deep to be able to learn them in the first place.
They just stick. I don't know why. IP addresses, subnets, anything network, it just sticks.
I can't remember if it was you that was talking about it the other day or if it was on a different Discord server. I found some of my old stuff from university, some of the revision notes that I'd written, and it's just page after page after page of Dijkstra's algorithm, which I haven't used ever. not since that exam have I ever used Dijkstra's algorithm again. But
The one I always hated with my degree was Boy's Code normal form for database normalization. Hated it.
yeah.
First, second, and third normalization fine. Boy's Code.
Yeah, fourth and fifth is a bit odd. Yeah, and I suppose my the other big thing is my kind of programming skill. I am a very, very good programmer, and I don't mind touting myself with that. I've been programming for 37 years, and it's my vocation. It's what I live for, basically.
I used to code a lot. I don't anymore. I used to be able to code in about 13 different languages, but all of them are obsolete now. And it's been many, many years since I actually had to do COBOL, which I wish I knew. I wish I'd retained the skill to do COBOL, because I've seen how much COBOL programmers can earn.
Oh god, yeah. COBOL, Pascal, and Delphi are very, very, very sought after. Extremely sought after. But you know, it's probably going a bit too in depth for audience, but you can now compile COBOL to .NET, which is quite an interesting thing, and Pascal as well. I think you can compile Pascal to .NET.
Well, I think AI will make a huge difference with the old languages now. I think something translating an old code to new code is something that AI would be very good at doing.
I'm very, very skeptical about AI. I use AI a lot, especially at work. I'm a web developer, but we're developing kind of cutting edge technology stuff, and one of the things we're doing is creating smart components for like autocomplete text boxes and stuff like that. But the AI that we use is very good in a closed system, but when you start using ChatGPT and stuff like that, until we can eliminate the possibility of hallucinations, they're going to be useless. They are pretty much useless. ChatGPT at the moment, if you spend 10 minutes, here's a very good thing. If you ever hear somebody saying that they're worried about AI taking their job, just tell them to spend 10 minutes talking to ChatGPT, and they'll never worry about any AI taking their job ever again. Because spend 10 minutes talking to ChatGPT, and it will drive you crazy. It will drive you around the bend, because it is just terrible. It is utterly useless at holding a conversation for any length of time.
Yeah, I mean, where I find the biggest use I've found with AI is, for example, recently I had to write an email to my boss, which I won't say it was a career suicide email, but it was one of those where it was critical of a business partner, and I wrote it, and then I whacked it through. Oh God, what's it? The Microsoft. I want to say Cortana, but it's not Cortana. That's their
Copilot.
Copilot. They should have gone with Cortana, because at least Cortana was an AI in the first place. But I ran it through Copilot and said, make this more professional, and it did a really good job.
I think so long as you know what you want from it. Yeah. If you know what output you want, and you're happy to actually read through the output that it gives, then it's okay.
This is going to be the man cave once I expand it out, but this actually is a secret door behind the waterfall as well.
Oh, nice.
And then I've still got to build upstairs. That's in progress. Right, where were we? Talent. I think I'm on to your question about dystopian.
Yeah. Which dystopian nightmare future are you most looking forward to? It's gonna be like zombie apocalypse, cyborg war, cyberpunk, evacuation of Earth. Any of those kind of strange, weird futures. Walking Dead, that kind of stuff. What is the one that you would most want to live through?
So it's an interesting one. I mean, looking forward to a dystopian nightmare does seem like an oxymoron, doesn't it? It's like I'm really looking forward to the end of the world.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people don't know about me is I used to write RPGs for D20 Modern specifically, and I used to work with a guy from the US called Tim Willard, who he was the original author of a D20 Modern expansion called Year of the Zombie, which was a very adult version of the zombie apocalypse. So it was no holds barred, bad language, the whole lot. So I wrote quite heavily into that one. So while it had seemed cool, I honestly have to sit there and say that I'd be that poor guy at the start of Zombieland who was for Rule 1 cardio. So I would say Cyberpunk is probably one of the most intellectually interesting for me. Just I find post-humanism quite a fascinating area of discussion. And you know, there's post-humanism, transhumanism, and all the various isms that we face ourselves, and the capability and potential that we have as a species. So yeah, I think the cyberpunk would be me. Okay, I think I know the answer to your next one, because it sounds like it'd probably be the same as me. But if you could have dinner with anyone, live or dead, who would it be and why?
I'm going to surprise you here, and it's going to be a really sentimental one. It's my dad.
Oh.
I just want to be able to catch up and say, you know, this is what I've done. My dad died 8 years ago, and I just want to be able to say, you know, this is where I am now.
Yeah, still all right. Everything's going.
Yeah. Yeah, just a very simple, quick answer to that one. My dad.
Yeah. See, I was going to go Pratchett, but you know that would be one of the people I think I would really like to talk to, but and the same things. Right, you get to give me with the last one, and I want to know what the correct answer is, because you told me there's a correct answer to this one.
Okay, you get to join just one team: Stargate SG-1, Red Dwarf, Star Trek Voyager, Andromeda Ascendant, or Firefly. There is a correct answer to this.
So the shallow answer to that would be Voyager, obviously, because, you know, chance to serve on a crew with 7 of 9. But I would say it'd have to be Red Dwarf, just because I would just love that constant laugh, that environment. It's just crazy, and I love Red Dwarf. I love the humour of it.
Would you be in charge of changing the light bulbs?
Only if it was for Red Alert. Yeah, I would go Red Dwarf, but just because I find the crew hilarious. I think there's a whole load of wolves over here. I don't know how many.
There's usually about a dozen of them over here.
There's more than a dozen at the moment.
Swimming in the water.
See, foxes. We got a real fox problem in this thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was the correct answer?
The correct answer to that, well, there's a correct answer for each person, but
yeah.
the correct answer for me is I'd join Andromeda Ascendant, but I'd be thinking about Red Dwarf.
So you go with Betty, but you'd be thinking of Wilma.
Exactly. Yeah. Have you seen? Oh, I'll have to send it. It was a meme of Betty and Wilma saying, "Well, I'd go with Lister, but I'd be thinking of Cat."
Oh, there's a wolf. I can see one. Just come out the tree line, directly across.
Oh, I haven't got
Zoom button reborn is absolutely brilliant mod.
I need to turn the. Oh, have I? Yeah, I've turned the thingy off, the vignette on that off. That's good.
Yeah.
I'll turn the scene brightness back up now. There we go.
I mean, there's a little bit of me with the zoom button mod that says, well, realistically, it should be a telescope mod, but then I'd be taking up another inventory slot.
Exactly, yeah.
So
we have enough inventory problems as there is.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you very much for being the first guinea pig on this experimental Q&A session.
Yeah, no problem.
And
oh wow, that is a lot of boxes down there. Just falling into a hole with about a dozen boxes.
They go in. Where is it?
Is this our attempt at a mob switch?
Doesn't work. I'll tell you that. I know that for a guarantee. There's hundreds of them. I must have killed 100. Oh, it's down here. Look.
Well, the point about a mob switch is you don't kill them. You just let them build up and up and up and up until no more spawn.
At least I killed about 200 on the other side of the mountain.
Huh. Okay.
And there was no sign of them letting up. I think we probably need a command. We probably need to do a call command on them, Fox Entity, before we migrate.
Butcher kill. Well, it was really nice to catch up with Sid and learn a lot more about him. I'm hoping to do that with a few more people this season, and especially go on some tours of people's bases and stuff like that as well. I'd really like to catch up with what people are doing and find out more about who I'm playing with. It's the first time we played with a lot of the people on this server. I think it was only me, Nathan, Andy Days, and maybe a couple of others, but we have known for a long time. Everybody else is fairly new, so it'll be an interesting ride along this year. I'm really glad you have joined me along for this. Thank you very much for joining me today. I think we'll leave it here for today. This has been a very long episode already. Next episode, we'll be dealing a lot more with the internals of this place, with the actual it's just one great big room at the moment in here, one great big room up on the first floor as well, and then one great big room on the basement level. So yeah, we will get a lot more of this done, the interior stuff. If you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like, comment and subscribe on the video and to the channel, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me by subscribing to the channel and liking and commenting on the videos. Thanks. See you next time.